Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video. Apologies if you occasionally hear me cough or I sound slightly ill. I haven't been too well over the Easter period, hence why there's been no new videos. I've been playing a lot of PvP recently, so my next video is going to look at that and the impact of the April feature patch on that. But I wanted to do a video on the current status of World vs World. I've done a previous video talking about World vs World and what it was about, but this one actually going to look at what's been happening for the spring 2014 World vs World. It's the equivalent of Season 2. So has there been a difference to Season 1? Well, if you look at the meta achievements, they are significantly different. There was a big expectation at the end of, it was very hard to get that, complete the meta for the World vs World Season 1. And the expectation was that you would get some really impressive rewards. That didn't really tend to happen. The majority of people got a big letdown. Being on Tarnished Coast, I managed to finish, we were third in the gold tier. And I think we got a third place for it, but it was really not great rewards for the amount of effort that we put in. And what this time round they've developed better individual rewards. So if you look at your achievement tab, it has specific rewards for completing, for example, capturing a certain amount of towers, killing a certain amount of enemies, killing a certain amount, or capturing a certain amount of sentries, killing guards. All these, if you complete one individual track, then you'll get an individual reward chest, and that has some interesting rewards, be it Dragonite armor, obsidian shards, Imperial fragments. There's a lot of different rewards in there. They all show up actually when you hover over them, so you can see what you can go for. So the rewards are a little bit more improved already. Will we see something depending on where your server finishes? I hope so. I hope that all this effort of actually the points table and seeing how that goes. I'm hoping that it will actually be more beneficial. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to link a couple of World vs World websites to follow. What I've noticed is there's a lot less chat regarding World vs World. It does tend to degenerate into a slanging match when you do go on the servers, and so I think ArenaNet said, okay, look, go out to the individual websites. We're going to not have any discussion about who's the best server, what's the best rivalry. And what I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm not going to talk about Europe. I don't play on the European servers. Admittedly, I'm British, but I play on North American servers. It's what I've done from Guild Wars 1, and I followed a few guildmates across as well, and I've been having a good time. As I've been before, I play on Tarnished Coast, and one of the big stories, I will put a link to this video in below. And I'm not sure you're aware, Blackgate is the biggest server. I think it's the most populated server that is on Guild Wars 2, and I think they've been the first people to complete Quattle, I believe, or the Jungle Worm for sure. And they do have a very large contingent of World vs World guilds, some of which they may not have purchased over from other servers. That's a side point. I'm not going to get involved with that. For those that you don't know, there are rumours that certain servers, particularly the tier 1 servers, pay individual guilds on other servers to come across, and they bring all their followers. And they, for example, say for on Tarnished Coast, we want to get a particular guild from Sea of Sorrows, who are very good on there. We would then aid and pay for some of their transfer costs. That's what that would involve. So that's regarding that. But we're already a few games into the spring season of World vs World, and last week was a very interesting week. For those who are unaware, there are 3, potentially 4 tier 1 guilds, and they are, they tend to be the best servers. And the ones that, if we look at last season, the top 4 were Blackgate, Jade Quarry, Tarnished Coast, and I believe it was Sea of Sorrows, or it might have been Sanctum of Ra. I always get those two confused. But currently, Sea of Sorrows is number 4, so I'm going to say them. And I think it was Sea of Sorrows. Either that or one of those were a tier 1 server. Tarnished Coast, we weren't. We were always losing, and to the top 3. But what happened, because of the way that the servers, you are allocated into a particular matchup, we ended up getting quite a lot of points and ended up actually coming 3rd, because the top 3 were always put together, and the server that came 3rd out of those 3 would only pick up 1 point. And so, as Tarnished Coast being sort of not really a tier 2, because we were a lot better than all the tier 2 servers, but not quite a tier 1, we would end up with a lot of points, and that's how we came 3rd. This time around it's a little bit different. We had a lot of influx at Tarnished Coast to a lot of guilds came across before the transfer cost went up, and we're a lot much more improved, and it is much more balanced. Admittedly, we are still just 3rd in a matchup with Tarnished Coast and Blackgate, where we're all free for all. However, last week was an interesting week, to say the least. Blackgate, I haven't been following it completely, but apparently there was somebody on the Blackgate server who said even if Tarnished Coast and Jade Quarry got together, Blackgate would still be able to beat them. Well, this put the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. And so an alliance came across. Jade Quarry and us on Tarnished Coast decided to relentlessly 2v1 them. And to be fair to Blackgate, they kept fighting all the way through. Jade Quarry ended up winning the matchup, but as Tarnished Coast, we'd be happy with 2nd place. We were okay with that. But yeah, we had an agreement where we would not attack Jade Quarry, only for a few camps or for Stonemish Castle. We just kept flipping SMC like so many times, because we'd go up and hide in the top floor. Jade Quarry would kill the Lord, get the capture, and leave. Then we would go downstairs, kill the Lord, get the capture, go back upstairs, and so on. And so it was a bit of a free for all against Blackgate, which was a lot of fun considering the amount of defeats that we'd been suffering to the hands of Blackgate. However, when Tarnished Coast do play Blackgate again, and there's another tier 2 server, don't expect us to have a great matchup. What you're going to see in the backgrounds, a number of pictures, and that's going to be to do with the websites that you're going to be able to go and visit that give great information about World versus World. The first one I'll show you. Let's have a look at the first one. This is predicted rankings from one of the other websites, and because of last week and because of Blackgate actually being relentlessly 2v1'd, before I carry on, there is a video in the description. There is a brilliant little spoof of what's happened, the feelings of Blackgate during that week. But yeah, so it's Tarnished Coast. We're in line to win this week, quite substantially. But Blackgate, Jade Quarry and Sea of Sorrows, that was an interesting match. Jade Quarry wanted to get Sea of Sorrows to double team them like they did with Tarnished Coast against Blackgate. However, Sea of Sorrows said no. And what that has become is that Blackgate, I believe, aren't hitting SOS as hard as they could do, but are relentlessly hitting Jade Quarry. And what this has led is that Sea of Sorrows could end up finishing ahead of Jade Quarry in this week's matchup. So that's, if you look at the predicted rankings, Blackgate look like it's go back to number 2. Well, actually number 2 because of Tarnished Coast's terrific win this week. The second one, if we look at, this is the current matchups that are going on. I don't know what the record is for most amount of points, but if you look at the second matchup, us on Tarnished Coast, there was a point last week where Tarnished Coast had all the 3 borderlands, everything was green, and the Eternal Battlegrounds had a queue of over 70. And I was like, whoa, I'm never going to be able to get in there. So I have actually done no World versus World this week because I haven't been able to get in. And I don't really fancy going around to some of these other maps while we're playing, and there's just no one there. Admittedly, you know, this has been the problem when Maguma and Dragon Brand are the matches we're playing against, and they're solid tier 2 servers. You know, they can give TC a run for their money for a little while, but in the long run, we will overrun them because we have a number of guilds that are and a number of commanders that are very, very good commanders. And we look at the other matchups. If we go down, we've got Henge of Denvari, Fort Aspenwood and Yaks Bend. Henge of Denravi are doing very well there. The other two, you know, it's pretty even at this stage. The Stormbluff Isle, Isle of Genthir, Crystal Deserts, not too bad a matchup. They're fairly even. Gate of Madness, Darkhaven, Dovanis Rest. Like they're scoring well and fairly even. Only 30,000 points in that. Again, another one that's doing well. Another close-ish one. Sorris Furnace, Ferguson's Crossing, Anvil Rock. Sorris Furnace looking the winner for that one. And then Kaineng, Eridan Terrace, and Emery Bay. Emery Bay doing okay. They're only at about 6,000 points behind Kaineng, and yeah, I mean that is obviously the bottom tier that you can be in. But they're doing, you know, there's still battles going on in those lower tiers. So if we look at the top matchup though, Jade Quarry are being beaten by Sea of Sorrows. Blackgate out in front by a long way. And yeah, so the Blackgate are they're out for revenge this week. And if we go to the next one, this is the World vs World map on the Guild Wars 2 forum website, and it shows you the updated rating. So Jade Quarry at the moment are technically number 1, Tarnished Coast number 2, Blackgate number 3, Sea of Sorrows number 4. If you look at the right hand side, Tarnished Coast down as a tier 2 server. Well, clearly not now, so that's going to have to change as it comes out. But this has the deviation. Obviously, this is the figures that they use to determine what matchups they're going to be. And I'm just wondering now, because of the Sea of Sorrows are down as a tier 1 server, that might actually give Tarnished Coast a big boost come the end of the season. And then the next picture I'm just showing you now is Blackgate, Sea of Sorrows, Jade Quarry, Tarnished Coast, Maguma and Dragon Brand. That's the league table. So as you know, that you're in a in a matchup is of 3 servers. You get 3 points for a win, 2 points for second place, 1 point for third. And as I believe that's the case, I've just from what I'm reading there, place first gets well, it's fairly even, but Blackgate have placed first twice and third once. Sea of Sorrows twice and once, and same with Jade Quarry. So it's all very even there. But look at Tarnished Coast. We've been second each match. So that must give us 3 points. So it must be 3 points for second place, I'm guessing here. 4 points for a victory. Unless it's 5 points for a victory. 5 points for a victory. I'm just working this out here. 5 points for a victory, 3 points for second place, and 1 point for third. So, despite us coming in second 3 times, we are still behind Sea of Sorrows, who's had a couple of victories against the tier 2 servers. And this is where our victory this week against the 2 tier servers, Maguma and Dragon Brand, this should put Tarnished Coast on 14 points. Predicting that with the victory. Jade Quarry, if things stay the same, they're only going to move on to 12 with that 1 point victory, with the 1 point, and Sea of Sorrows will go on to 14, the same as Tarnished Coast. However, I believe because Sea of Sorrows have 1 more victories, they're going to end up ahead of Tarnished Coast. So Blackgate, they'll end up going on to 16. So it'll be Blackgate on 16, Sea of Sorrows and Tarnished Coast on 14, Jade Quarry on 12. For that, this is going to be an interesting season, and I don't know how Jade Quarry are going to. I think they wanted to go for the victory, but their tactics could end up backfiring on them. So look, I haven't talked about some of the other matchups. I'm only talking about the one that obviously the majority of people are on these servers, and I'm on the servers at Tarnished Coast, so I know a lot about what's going on. And I'm going to be keeping you guys updated about this. I might look at just comparing some of the other servers and seeing the rivalries going on. But yeah, there's definitely significant rivalry between Jade Quarry and Blackgate. For me, as a player on TC, I feel we're the friendly server. You know, we don't mind. We go around, we have a laugh, and you know, we don't get too frustrated if we come third, if we come second, if we come first. We just go out, we have a fun, and it's a generally enjoyable time on TC. So if personally, I've not been on any other server. Blackgate, they do tend to be the biggest one. They do tend to be the one that achieve all the firsts. I'd recommend, if you are coming into the game, or you are looking to transfer, Blackgate, Jade Quarry, Tarnished Coast for World versus World, for just general PvE, getting the achievements and any boss kills. Blackgate probably is the one to go for. If you're looking for role playing, Tarnished Coast, there's plenty of role players on our server. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on World versus World. It is an enjoyable time at the moment, but it does depend on the matchup, and I'm hoping to see next week's we have a much more even matchup. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice time and a nice Easter, and catch me on the next video.